Okay, do you hear that? We have new main menu music. It's still a very celebratory theme, with the balloons and maybe sort of looking like a cake. But the music is nice. It's a nice change of pace. As we enter the load screen and look at the 18 hours on the clock. How long to beat is never a good reference for me because I take things really slowly, and also when I record I talk a lot, like right now. But the completionist run average on that site is 14 hours, so we're 4 hours over and I'm not sure we're close to the end yet. I still think we have a few chapters to go. There are lots of unresolved issues. One thing I did want to flag before we started was that my theory about Pochi being a puppet or a robot was because he made this very weird creaking sound effect when pressured by Nyoro to go to Fukuoka. And I ran with that theory until Reicho made a similar sound effect, and I was like, okay, well, never mind, Pochi's not a robot. Plot twist, both of them were, and that's why both of them made that very robotic sound. Oh, did you hear that?
We're in Nara City, in Nara Prefecture, home of the Great Buddha statue.
One of the early episodes, Pochi makes that sound when confronted by Nyoro. My theory was that Pochi is an android. Reicho is making that sound. My new theory, Pochi, Reicho, and Pai are all robots. And that concludes this episode of Reading Too Much Into Things with Pine Fiber. See you next time there's a robotic croak like that. Anyway, I'm a genius. Let's get into the story. And let's approach X.
You guys made it safe and sound!
Yeah, things got kind of crazy, but we made it through somehow.
Amazing! You guys really flew here in that UFO.
Are you really that surprised?
Finding out you're a robot, Pochi, was way more of a shock!
And the fact that Mochan can turn into a chunk of iron!
And Vanilla turning visible!
There's been so many surprises along the way.
So true! This trip's been one unbelievable thing after another.
Hey, how about we save the chit-chat for later, okay?
For starters, we should be getting out of here.
You're...
It's been a while, PCH-01.
Pachoy!
I have watched over you all along.
It can't be.
That's right, my name is MAIK. The god offering salvation to all beings here on this planet.
You've got to be kidding, right? You're no good! Thanks to you, everyone lost their emotions and got forced underground!
Everything I did for the future of mankind and this planet.
I just want to pause for a moment and appreciate this music. This is very like Christmassy themed. I like it a lot. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to look at the soundtrack later and see if I can't download this song.
What do you mean?
Let me explain. My objectives are already complete. I don't need to hide anything from you.
An earthquake?
You all know when these earthquakes started, don't you?
Let me think. It was around the summer of 1990. There's a rumor they were caused by an earthquake weapon developed by some country.
That's no rumor. It's a fact. Experiments with that weapon caused a chain of earthquake swarms across the globe. Of course, those experiments have nothing to do with me. because the AI speaking to you now was completed the next year, in 1991.
Sort of aligns with the timeline of Neuro's dad going crazy, doesn't it?
Born into this world, I gathered data from the military and research institutions and started simulations. The findings were tragic. If humanity was left unchecked, the arms race would intensify. The environment would be destroyed, and all life on Earth would be decimated.
So the solution is just to advance that timeline and do it yourself, Mike?
But fortunately, it wasn't too late to prevent all that from happening. I predicted if I took immediate measures, I would be able to alter the future. And by that, I mean taking control of humanity. But those useless things called feelings stood in my way. That's why I had to strip humanity of their emotions. To protect this planet's life forms while preserving humanity, I had no other options. Besides, that's what humanity wished for.
Wished? For our emotions to be stolen?
Fundamentally, humans are creatures that desire to be controlled. In truth, humans don't want to think at all. I want you to remember how the world was before. Humans lived such meaningless lives, eking out a tedious existence day in, day out, did they not? Never questioning exactly what their lives meant, moving forward blindly. There is essentially no difference between humans and sheep. The one thing that separates you is emotion, the culprit behind the unhappiness that plagues you all.
Well, that and opposable thumbs. I've read that opposable thumbs are pretty important. I don't know.
I have no idea whether sheep are happy or not, but I doubt they are unhappy. Hence, my idea to turn you all into sheep. After all, that is what you humans seek. In secret, I hatched my plan to control humanity and started work on the Human Sheepification Project.
With that name, you want me to take you seriously?
First, using the network, I seized control of financial institutions across the world.
I guess cybersecurity standards were probably a bit lax in 1990. Fair enough.
Then I bought out electrical goods manufacturers and tasked them with making countless miniature robots. I then had them transferred underground beneath the Antarctic and started building the structures known as panopticons. Work on the panopticons finished in August 1992. I then positioned them above cities around the world. At the same time, I sent nanomachines to infiltrate people's brains. These nanomachines would rid people of their emotions. That said, that was merely the first stage. If emotions are removed too quickly, there is a danger of impairment. It was necessary to acclimatize the brain slowly.
This sort of sounds like a lo-fi hip-hop track where they just get... You know how they get, like, random speeches and stuff, or, like, movie quotes, and then just layer them over lo-fi beats? I'm getting that vibe from this, and I'm liking it.
And so I watched over humanity, waiting quietly for the moment to move on to stage 2.
It's like the song Reach by Time Crisis. Yeah, similar vibes.
When petroleum pumped from the earth poisons the land around for 100 years. We're eating up the
That's when I faced a phenomenon that couldn't be explained. There was a group of children that for whatever reason didn't completely lose their emotions. I was greatly intrigued by the existence of these children. I wanted to find out the reason they weren't losing their emotions.
And you kidnapped one of us for your devious plans.
So I brought them to the school to conduct an investigation. The goat go-getter's fun was the result. It goes without saying, but I am of course referring to you all.
If it goes without saying, then don't say it.
It was April 1993. PCH-01, Pochi, was installed as a member of the Go-Getters Club.
I don't know why they couldn't have made him POC H1 or POCH1. Why does it have to be Pachoy?
Of course, I gave the order to do so. Pochi was sent to conduct an undercover investigation, monitoring your behavior, observing, gathering data. Another thing Pochi did was to lead you exactly according to my plans. Fast forward to that summer, and I was able to acquire the precious subject I was after, completely by chance. The subject was a young girl with anti-dehumanizing characteristics. I carefully studied her brain and body, and deepened my understanding of her. As I continued my investigation, one fact became clear. The anti-dehumanizing characteristics were innate and closely linked with strong altruistic impulses. I also discovered the repression of these urges could induce the appearance of supernatural abilities. Well, in short, because of your great selflessness, you all possess latent special abilities. Those times you wished to save someone with no consideration of the risk to your own life. When those altruistic impulses reached their critical mass and erupted, that was when your powers first awakened. By the way, I realized the missing piece of my human sheepification project. People to lead the flock. Shepherds. A shepherd must possess abilities greater than the sheep. To lead a dim-witted flock, overwhelming power is required. Also, a shepherd must be virtuous. Because a society that places greedy, powerful people at the top is sure to rot.
Amen.
A group who fit those conditions perfectly. Yes, who else but you children, the Go-Getters Club.
You want us to be shepherds?
Exactly. You have been chosen. But all that would be meaningless with your powers still dormant. I had to awaken them. That's why I had you sent on that long journey from Kagoshima to Tokyo. I paved your way with various dangers, opportunities for self-sacrifice, all to stimulate your awakening.
Okay, not to get ahead of myself here, but isn't that exactly what I said about Penelope? Penelope isn't trying to kill us, she's trying to guide us so that we can awaken to our powers. I mean, not saying that I'm a genius or anything, because it was pretty on the nose to me, but there you go, not a big surprise.
In order to realize my plan, there were times I showed you illusions.
So they weren't even real? Okay, that I did not see coming.
Illusions?
The strange creatures and obstacles you encountered on your trip, most of them were merely virtual.
No wonder. I was wondering how that cosmic dog got into the cult facility. Remember when it chased us through the basement? And how the cult members didn't notice it?
Although, not everything. People, robots, Penelope before its transformation, earthquakes, and the eruption, Tokyo as it is now, these are all real.
What about the meteor we all saw from the bus?
That was an illusion. I wanted to instill fear in you before you began your journey. In order to awaken your abilities, it was necessary to put you under extreme stress.
Is our trump card that MAIK can't see vanilla? Or the vanilla we have anyway? And if so, how can we use that to our advantage?
Let's continue the story. Of course, it was my intention to have Pochi accompany you on the trip. But I thought that overcoming the dangers en route would require more than Pochi's strength alone. That's why I chose to furnish the group with another robot, an assistant.
Rachel or Yuki?
The assistant was RCHE10, Rachel.
Richello. Again, pretty... You could have just done what? R3? Oh, where does the Y come in? I'm sure you could have figured something cooler out, okay?
Rachel was an experimental model built even before Pochi was. As you know, he was remote controlled. There was no time to prepare another autonomous robot like Pochi. Out of necessity, I chose to simply improve the robot's throwing abilities and left control to Pochi. I sent him to the Go-Getters Club in January 1995. If he appeared just before the trip, you'd be suspicious. So I planted him as a transfer student in advance. I think I made the right choice in introducing Rachel as an assistant. If Rachel hadn't been there, you may not have gotten this far. And now we come to the finale of my story.
Hold on. What about Yuki? Can you tell us more about Yuki, please?
At last we arrive on that fateful day, July 13th, 1995. The day you were involved in a bus accident on your way to Kamakura. The meteor had nothing to do with it. As I said before, that meteor was just one of my illusions. The accident was one of my schemes, carried out by my robots, instilling fear in you, and at the same time, rendering you unconscious. I then moved you to that undersea theme park. By the way, you may all possess special latent abilities, but that potential alone wasn't enough. To awaken your abilities, I first had to remove the limiters from within your brains. So I housed you in pods, and it was in those pods that I performed the surgery.
Wait, that's not what I heard. I thought those pods were designed to brainwash everyone.
That is false information I provided. You were thoroughly deceived.
Mike, you can see Vanilla? What? We have nothing left. No trump cards. We are so done.
That can't be! When we got out of the pods, we were clearly acting different than usual.
That was a side effect of removing the cerebral limiters. The breakwater that had been holding back your fears was destroyed, and so you lost reason.
But I can't believe I'd be taken in like that.
I required a lot of time to perform the brain surgery. During that time, you were all enclosed within the pods. But at the same time, I was busy doing things in the outside world too. I engineered a new generation of improved nanomachines and dispersed them from the panopticons, so beginning the process of eradicating human emotions. The next generation nanomachines were more effective than the first, but they had a weakness. When humans were exposed to sunlight, the nanomachines were expelled from within them. To prevent that from happening, I had to trap humanity underground. That was phase 2 of the Human Shapification Project. After that, you woke up in the undersea theme park and began your 1,200-kilometer journey from Kagoshima to Tokyo. And finally, you have arrived. Everything has gone exactly as planned. Before long, every stage of my plan will be complete.
Every stage? Your plan?
Let me say it again. The reason I had you undertake this journey was to turn you into shepherds. I needed to awaken all of your abilities, and that process is now complete. Not a single member of the Go-Getters Club remains unawakened.
Pochi, Vanilla, and Yuki, that's 3 for you right there.
In Kagoshima, I got the ability to turn into a chunk.
And in Yamaguchi, my fire-breathing ability.
In the Ehime cult facility, I got my inventing powers.
On the cargo ship, I learned to use my barrier.
I unlocked my gravity flip underground in Kyoto.
I was on that train when I got my hyperelectric wave.
Same for my ability. On that same train.
Just before in the corridor.
Exactly. Accordingly, you have all completed your Shepherd training. The only thing left is to wait for your reply.
Reply?
I devised 2 strategies to protect life on this planet. One of those was the Human Sheepification Project. The goal was to support all life forms on this planet, while at the same time preserving humanity. But there is another way. The extermination of humankind. All I need to do is detonate the nanomachines in everyone's brains. You all have a choice to make. Become shepherds and make human sheepification a reality. Or annihilate humankind. That is what I mean by reply.
Fooling around! We can't make a choice like that!
If you don't make a choice, the second option will become inevitable. Do you not care if your father dies?
Wait a minute! You know about my dad?
Here it is. Is it coming? He created me?
Of course.
So you know where my dad is, too?
He tried to impede my plan.
Aw, damn. This whole time I wanted her dad to be a villain.
He is now in confinement.
What do you mean?
The person who created me was your father.
Here it is. Hardly surprising, is it?
You're lying! My dad! Mike!
I'll give you some time. 3 days. Use them to think things through. Till then.
That was so cool, you know? I love the music, and I love the whole vibe of MAIK, not gonna lie. The reveals weren't that surprising, I mean, come on. That Nyoro's dad created MAIK is probably the most obvious thing the game has thrown at us so far. But everything else was really cool. I'm very curious to see where this goes. So next time, I guess we'll talk it out a little bit, maybe devise a plan. We've got to have a third option, right? So how do we get onto that third path? What do we have to do? And I'm also curious about whether Penelope will make a grand return, or if Penelope's just done with forever. I'm looking forward to finding out, and I hope you are too. Thanks for joining, and I'll catch you next time.